Hey there folks, welcome back to another episode of Building a World One Step at a Time on Hedron. And today, we're going to be looking at macros, one of the most fundamental building blocks of how you do things or create things within the site. Let's get into it. So macros fundamentally come in two forms, either universal or specific. The way you build them, however, and the things they do are the same. The difference is for universal macros that they are literally used by everyone, so think something like the dash action in D&D 5e or anything along those lines. An ability or a setting or something that is available to or applies to every single character. Whereas a specific macro might be being able to cast Eldritch Blast, or being able to fly, or something along those lines. The way you build them is very simple, so I will simply use the universal macro screen in order to show you what they are like. So when adding a universal macro, when you have a macro, you see the first step is you can name it whatever you like. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and leave that for now and name it something like Test 1, which is fine. Allowed entity types, you can actually specify it to different individual things if you want it to where it's like, this is a class that's available to everyone. It is a spell that's available to everyone, or what have you. If you are making a macro within a specific menu already, this step is taken care of. So this is specific to if you are making a universal macro. You can also do it as a campaign level thing if you have a specific ability you want to give someone on a universal level for a campaign you're using. Say you're playing a 5e scenario in which you are giving people the ability to use a mech suit, and there is a giant mech laser beam you want to give them access to, you can actually make it a campaign level field. From here, there's a few different things you can do. What type of entity is it? Is it an active or a passive? An active one would be jumping, would be attacking, anything along those lines. Passive, however, is something that is consistent throughout time. Do you get a buff to your armor? Do you get a buff to your health? Do you have a certain natural basic amount of health you want everyone to have? That would be a passive one. This is for the primary level, and for the trigger, you can in fact set it that it's a passive effect or a user-triggered effect. Generally, these will line up, though there will be some very, very, very rare corner cases where they don't. But in general, a user-triggered ability will be an activation situation, whereas a passive effect will be a passive situation. You can take the time to set things such as activation time, such as which you would set elsewise in the campaign, so it may be 1 minute, 1 round, anything along those lines. At base, it simply targets the source, i.e. the user of the macro, but you could add in target enemy, you could add in target ally, you could add in any target, and you can also change the number to whom it applies so that when you're using it, it can affect all these different things. You can give it a limited duration, such as 1 turn, 1 round, or anything along those lines, and of course, you can set usages per rest or anything along those lines. Once per round, once per day, anything along those lines. From there comes the actual steps of what the macro does. And this is going to be where this splits into a multi-part situation because macros can do multiple things. But at a base level, a macro either affects the source or the target or anything along those lines, and then you have to pick the type of steps, of which there are currently 8 possibilities. You can apply an effect, compute a number, stop the macro based on a condition, trigger another macro, grant an item, prompt a choice, alter a macro, or expand a casting list. Some of these are simpler, some of these require a bit more explanation, so in this next episode following this one, I am going to break down what each one of these does, how they can be used, as well as how they can all be used together to create complex and full far-reaching abilities, as well as some examples of what that may look like. So stay tuned for the next one.